I know I got bad. Everybody wanna be like me.
Coming to you from Warriors Coliseum, it's high school football on the Warriors Network. Tonight, it's a 13-5A district opener as Pieper hosts Wagner. Each team finished non-district play 1-2, but the record they're both after tonight is 1-0 as we usher in the district season. Good evening and welcome to the campus of Pieper High School. Alongside Noah Torr, I'm Brent Freeman. And Noah looking forward to this one tonight as we start 13-5A play.
Tonight's a big game for both of these schools, looking to start off district play right. You always want to start off district play right. Come in with a win, especially coming off of non-district play where you end both of those times 1-2. Neither side got what they wanted out of non-district play, but you can restart, quote-unquote, restart the season right here tonight in Warrior Coliseum.
And you saw there what each team is coming off of in their non-district finales. Wagner losing handily against San Marcos. Meanwhile, the Warriors lost a tough game against Davenport last week. The Warriors won the toss, electing to receive, so we'll see this high-octane offense out first for Pieper tonight. Warriors offensively putting up more than 33 points a game, scored 44 last week, but it was the game-winning field goal by Wolves kicker Ashton Mercer with 18 seconds left that led to the win for Davenport last week. These two met a year ago. Pieper winning that game by a couple of touchdowns. Looking to make it a 2 in a row over the Thunderbirds tonight. Ezekiel Villarreal puts the ball on the tee, and off we go from Pieper High. Short kick fielded at the 16-yard line. And a big return for the Warriors out across the 35 and down to the 40-yard line goes Cash Lancaster. And here come the Warriors out on offense.
Great starting position for the Pieper Warriors, and they don't even need great starting position for, just like you said, this high-octane offense that they have, averaging almost 400 yards per game as they march out onto the field. We're going to get our first look at this offense that is known for churning out yards.
And it is much more pass-heavy as well. The Warriors have racked up nearly 1,200 yards of offense through 3 games, 74% of that coming through the air. And making a second straight start at quarterback, Chase Lyons. Back to throwing first down. Will swing pass out to Hopper, and he's wrapped up for a loss of 5. Good defensive pursuit there by Wagner's defense, and that'll bring up second and long.
Looked like a little bit of a misstep right there from Lyons. He had the ball in his right hand, and it looked like it either slipped or nothing. Just something happened right there. That play was not entirely how Pieper had it drawn up, and now you've got 5 extra yards to go after.
Lyons threw for more than 360 yards last week against Davenport. Had a couple of touchdown passes, a lot of big plays, more than 15 yards per completion. We'll swing it out to Hopper again, and again wrapped up for a loss. Jeremiah Cruz on the tackle there for Wagner, and now the Warriors faced with 3rd and long.
I mean, props to the Pieper coaching staff for trying to just do the same thing except opposite. Another swing pass over to Brady Hopper, but you didn't lose 5 yards that time, but you got back to the line of scrimmage, and you have got a long, long way to go.
So the Warriors have to reach midfield to avoid a 3 and out. Empty backfield for Lyons. On the rollout. Looking, throwing downfield, and the catch is made. Right at the sticks by Andrew Grindstaff and close to a first down.
What a massive catch from Grindstaff. Lyons rolls out to his left, finds his man, was staring him down the whole time, and it looks like not only they're going to go for it, but Tyler Lacombe comes in the game. And you know what he's listed as? An athlete.
Yes.
Just an athlete.
But they didn't think it was a great spot for Grindstaff. They mark him 2 yards short. Direct snap coming to Tyler Lacombe, and he's got the first down and then some. Down the sidelines and out of bounds. 4th down conversion for the Warriors. The drive will continue into Thunderbird territory.
Tyler Lacombe was the starting quarterback for the Warriors in game number 2, had 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 250 yards passing, but that's his specialty right there. You just throw him in and say, hey, do something cool for us.
Gain of 15 on 4th down and 2. The drive continues for Lyons. Going to flip it to Lancaster, and he's bottled up. Tackle for loss by Javion Rector, one of the captains for this Wagner defense, and again, Pieper going backwards on first down.
Pieper has been conservative on first down. The play calling hasn't been explosive. It hasn't been searching deep. It's been consistent and just trying to churn out small yards, which is not what this offense is known for.
Wagner bringing a blitz. Lions out of the pocket he goes. And to the sidelines, back to the original line of scrimmage, picks up 6. And now the Warriors look at a 3rd and 10.
Lions tried to find Grindstaff on the right side. Grindstaff had a great adjustment on his route, drew his cornerback up the field a little bit, gave Lions room to run so that way they could at least get some yards on a 2nd down and a broken play.
They'll call it 3rd and 11. 5 wide for Lions. Wagner bringing the blitz, quick pass caught. Or no, dropped. Grindstaff can't reel it in. 4th down coming up here for the Warriors. Too far for a field goal here, maybe too short to punt. Do the Warriors keep the offense on the field?
Absolutely. They did something similar against Wagner last week where anytime there was a 4th and somewhat manageable, but you're on the other side of the field, they go for it. Head coach Nick Rogers is an aggressive play caller.
Whistles blow.
Timeout on the field for Wagner.
And a timeout taken by the Thunderbirds. Let's talk a little bit more about Pieper and head coach Nick Rogers and the job that he's done with his program. You look back at the first varsity season, the Warriors in his first year here finished 2-8. The year after, Pieper wins 12 games, unbeaten in district, and they made it all the way to the region finals. The year after that, they win 11 games with a perfect regular season.
Pieper has been almost borderline. This is dramatic, but it feels unstoppable. Just when you watch them play, the offense is a high-octane offense. Last year with Caden Keith, they were ridiculous. You and I were talking about this pregame, but last year specifically, one memory of this Pieper offense and just what they can do. Scored 3 touchdowns out of the gate in the 3rd quarter in their game against New Braunfels. And so they can do a lot of stuff. And you've got returners with Grindstaff, with Brady Hopper, with Cash Lancaster. You've got a lot of guys that were there last year, so they know what this team is capable of.
An offense a year ago that put in more than 50 points per game. Lions on the rollout and a 1st down. Carson Lacombe, the senior, reels it in for his 11th catch of the year to again move the sticks on 4th down.
2 long plays where it's like, all right, hey, you've just got to go get this 1st down. And Wagner is not playing up on defense. You would expect them to, but they're not. They're giving Pieper a ton of breathing room.
Hopper, and he's stuffed. You know, Wagner's playing really good defense on 1st, 2nd, and even 3rd down, but they can't get off the field on 4th.
In 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, if you're playing great defense on those, but 4th down you give it up, it doesn't even matter. It's like, great, you played defense for a little bit, but you forgot the most important down. And so far, that's been Wagner's Achilles heel in this football game.
9th play of the drive coming up. And so far, Lions on the drive, a perfect 4 for 4 passing. On 2nd down, Lions throws that one away to the sidelines over the heads of Grindstaff. Pass incomplete. And correction, that is his 2nd incompletion of the drive, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Wagner on defense runs a 3-5-3, which is honestly really uncommon in general in football, but honestly really uncommon in high school, especially because you see more of a 3-3-5. We'll talk more about that later whenever Pieper comes on defense, but they are primed to stop the run, but the pass is difficult.
3rd down, Lions well protected, and he's got a target. Inside the 15, Grindstaff brings it in to move the sticks.
Speaking of covering the pass difficult, in a 3-5-3, you're really good at stacking the box. You can contain the quarterbacks. They'll try to keep Lions in the pocket, try to stuff the run, but then you have to bank on your safeties and your corners to help out. And so far, Wagner has had a tough time with the wide receivers of Pieper.
Backside screen caught by Hopper, has blocks. Hopper has the end zone. There is a penalty marker back at the 10. This might be a hold against Pieper. This could be coming back.
It was for sure. It was like WWE style hold. That what just happened on the field. That was number 13, Carson Lacombe. He took his man
Against the Warriors, that'll bring that back.
And chucked him on the ground. Want to let the PA guy get in there. He took his man and just threw him on the ground. I don't think you can block like that.
First penalty of the game against either team is a hold that wipes out a touchdown, a hopper. So instead of kicking the extra point, the Warriors now backed up with the 20.
Excuse me, not Carson Lacombe, Cash Lancaster.
Lancaster. Warriors in the red zone. Both teams looking to snap 2-game losing streaks. They won their season openers, haven't won since. And out tonight, the 13-5A opener. And it is a reverse going the other way. Lacombe going to throw to the end zone, and that is caught. What a play. Touchdown, Pieper. But another flag back in the 27, and we'll see if it stands.
Holy cow.
Flag on the play.
What a beautiful play design by the Pieper coaching staff.
And again, wiped out due to a hold. 2 times in the drive, the Warriors have hit Pieper, both times negated by penalty.
You can't say every single penalty is due to being unfocused or undisciplined, but you can say a few are. You can say false starts. Those are absolutely due to being unfocused or undisciplined. And on offense, you can also say holding can be dedicated to some lazy effort. Right there, holding call, 1st and a mile.
First down at 28. Lions steps up, and the pass is tipped. Broken up by Rector. 2nd down and 28 coming up for the Warriors.
Pass was deflected at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. 2nd down.
A drive for the Warriors that opened the game. Drive almost about 4 minutes old. They've converted on 4th down twice, and they twice had touchdowns taken off.
And those were 4th and longs.
Empty backfield again for Lions. Wagner bringing a blitz, and Lions taken down. The blitz effective for the Thunderbirds. It is DeMonte Drummer, another one of the captains of the defense for Wagner. And now the ball back at the 38 for the Warriors to convert. They have to reach the 3-yard line.
Pieper is only about 15, maybe 17 yards away from where they originally started this drive on the 45-yard line of their own side of the football field.
Loss of 10 of the play. 3rd down at 38. Lions looking deep in the sidelines, and the catch is made inside the 10, inside the 5, and diving for the end zone. What a play! Carson Lacombe on 3rd and 38, and the Warriors strike first.
3rd and 38, and that happens. Lions rolls out to his right, waits for the play to develop, puts the ball where only his receiver can go, and then Carson Lacombe with a big dog move to shake off the defender, jump into the end zone, and somehow convert on a 3rd and 38.
Well, again, Wagner, so many chances to get off the field, could not finish off the drive. The Warriors do, and with it, they stake an early 7-0 lead. Impressive 3rd and 38 play for the Warriors, and Pieper's on top of the opener. 7-0 here on the Warriors Network. And welcome back to Pieper High School. A look at Carson Lacombe on 3rd and 38. Able to reel in the catch from Chase Lyons. His 3rd touchdown pass of the season. And the Warriors on top after an impressive game-opening drive on top of Wagner, 7-0, and now kicking off. Logan Lopez kicking off for the first time tonight on that drive. The Warriors had 4th and 2, 4th and 11, 3rd and 38, and converted all of them. And this will be returned. And that was not a wise decision. Houston Sims, the returner for Wagner, is tackled inside the 5. And Wagner has a lot of field in front of them as they take the field for the first time in offense.
Special teams is oftentimes an underrated part of a football game, but it is a third of the football game. You've got 3 parts: offense, defense, and special teams. And special teams, if you do your job right, everybody notices. If you do it wrong, everybody notices. And this is a moment where you can applaud the special teams effort of the Pieper Warriors and go, that was an incredible way to cover a kick.
Here comes the Wagner offense. They've been running the slot T for a number of years. That is the triple option style offense for Wagner. And at the helm, Javante Hughes, a sophomore quarterback. It's an offense that can consume a lot of clock if it's effective. And the first play is a run to the left, and that's not going anywhere. Brady Gianelli on the stop there for Pieper, and Wagner looking at 2nd and 10.
Gianelli's got 22 tackles this season, make it 23. His first tackle for loss on the year.
Xavier Luera on the carry there for Wagner. Another dive play up the middle. It is so important for Wagner's game to win 1st and 2nd down. A team that does not throw the football will be challenged on 3rd and longs.
For Wagner, 88% of their offensive production comes on the ground. Handoff after handoff, and Pieper knows that, so they can stack the box as they please, knowing that through the air is going to be hard to come by for the Thunderbirds.
To give you an idea, Wagner has only attempted 19 passes all year. And here's a pass down the field, and the receiver got turned around, Josine Scott. Pass incomplete, and Wagner goes 3 and out on his first possession of the game.
The lack of pass coverage from Pieper should show you how caught off guard they were that Wagner was going to throw the football. Wide open. The throw just wasn't there. Ball just a little bit short, and you had Aiden Ruiz running after the Wagner player, and it wasn't there. Throw wasn't going to happen, but that's how often Wagner runs the football.
And now Julius Jackson punting 5 yards deep in the end zone. Flag is in, and the punt fielded at the 40. Muffed on the ground. Wagner says they've got it. Thunderbirds football, but we have a penalty to sort out first.
This handle on the reception, but we do have a penalty on the play.
And this might be running into the kicker. Punt was muffed by Aiden Rice.
Offsides on the
And
Warriors.
Pieper was offsides. That's the penalty. Negated, declined, obviously by Wagner, and the Thunderbirds get new life.
A gift, a Christmas miracle in September for the Wagner Thunderbirds.
Already 3 penalties in the game against Pieper. First down for the Thunderbirds at the 42. And it is Hughes on the keeper for about 3 before he's dropped by Bennett King. Then it's 2nd down and 7.
Bennett King, one of the superstars on the Warriors defense, averages about 9 tackles a game. He flies all over the field from that safety position. You can see him in the middle of the field right now, just off on the Warrior logo. He runs around like a gnat. He's crazy.
2nd down for Hughes, a sophomore quarterback. And we'll head it off to the dive back again. And the ball carry up to midfield. Good 2nd down play. Makes 3rd down very manageable for the slot T offense.
I feel like this is helpful saying to anybody who's watching right now. You were talking about this before the game and mentioning this to the crew. You're like, hey, camera people, like just be sure that you follow the football, because it's hard to follow the football in a slot T. And so if you're having a hard time following the football at home, don't worry, that's okay.
On 3rd down, Hughes will keep it. Pins on the spot as he got wrapped up by Thor Michaelbus, one of the great names on this Pieper defense, and that was enough for a 1st down.
There's very few people in life that you meet or encounter that are full name people. He's one of them, for sure. And he's also got 6 collegiate offers, one of them from Air Force, one of them from Army. And so he's literally getting a taste of what going up against that offense in practice could be like.
First drive of the game for Wagner, trying to answer the Pieper drive. Warriors on top of the district opener, 7-0. Hughes Back to pass, whistles blow. That play dead from the start.
Broken up by number 7.
I feel like that got called off just a little bit late.
And the first penalty of the game against Wagner.
False start against the offense. That'll back them up 5.
And any penalty against a Wagner offense is going to be helpful for Pieper. And just like we've talked about, because they take so much time on the clock to run the football, but by running the football, you're not going to take out a bunch of yards. And so any penalty is going to be advantageous to the defense.
Wagner now behind the chains, looking at 1st and 15. Hughes back to pass. Swing pass falls incomplete.
Pass falls
Out of the reach of Scott. And it's 2nd and 15.
for number 30.
The couple of throws that we've seen from Hughes just don't quite have the zip on them to get over to his receivers. They're missing a certain amount of zip to get there in time, and so his receivers are having to adjust, and that's giving Pieper's secondary enough time to get over to the receivers, cover the pass, and even if the receivers were able to make a play, they would be swallowed up instantaneously by that defense.
Wagner opened the year with a dominant win over the Braffos Long Creek. Since then, back-to-back losses, lopsided defeats to Dripping Springs and St. Marcus. A pitch to the outside, one tackle broken by Sims. Sims still running into the secondary. Big second down play for Wagner. Going to bring up 3rd down at 4.
That's the kind of trickery and shape shifting that you can run out of this triple option. Fake handoff, turn around, pitch to your man, Houston Sims, and he gets to move off to his right, makes a move, cuts up field, and he churns out a lot of yards. And Wagner now in striking position to get this 1st down.
And it also makes this 4-down territory for Wagner as well. Gain of 11 makes it 3rd down and 4. Hughes hands off the dive back again, and it depends on the spot right at the sticks. And Wagner will move the chains as they convert on 3rd down.
Takes the ball right to the line to
We
gain.
talked about defensive formations earlier. Pieper runs a 3-3-5, so they are great against passing offense, against high-octane spread offenses. That is what the 3-3-5 is there for. You got 5 guys in the secondary who can move around and run around, but that means that you have a hard time containing the run, and so you can see Pieper trying to stack the box with a cornerback and one of their linebackers.
1st down, Hughes steps up, going deep, got a target, and that would have been a walk-in touchdown for Jeremiah Castillo. But right now, Hughes having a hard time with his accuracy.
Castillo was wide open. Pieper just not even expecting the pass, and they shouldn't have to. If you're Hughes, you have to complete and make those passes, especially when you have a wide open man running in the middle of the field, streaming to the end zone. Just a hard look from Hughes so far.
2nd down and 10. It is Hollis on his 3rd carry of the drive, and Hollis still moving, breaking a couple of tackles. And out to the Wagner sideline after he picks up 4. 3rd and 6 coming up for Wagner.
Lost his helmet on the play. He was running so hard. Hole up the middle, sheds a tackle, and just keeps moving, churning his feet. You do see great runners in this offense. They've got a lot of great runners that they can hand the ball off to. Houston Sims, Price, Luera. There's a ton of guys that Wagner has to have Pieper cover.
His rushing attack averaging more than 250 yards a game. And now operating on 3rd down and 5. Hughes keeps, and that was a mistake. Got cut down by King. Should have pitched it to Sims, who was running free to the outside, and now it's 4th down.
It looks like Hughes so far has just been overwhelmed by this Pieper defense. He starts second-guessing his decision-making process, and he can't quite just make a definitive move and say, I'm going to go after you and run down your throat, or with his passing, too. He's just been a little bit indecisive in this game.
Well, for a moment, Wagner sent out its punting unit, but now head coach Jason Starrin keeping his offense on the field. Technically, this drive began back at the 5 after a penalty on Pieper on the punts. It continues, and now it is a fake punt for Wagner, and the Warriors all over it.
behind the line of scrimmage.
and Pieper would take over on downs. Brady Hopper with his tackle on special teams.
That was insane. Call the man just a magician. The way that he can play running back well and cover on special teams. I mean, Brady Hopper saw that from a mile away. And to point out, huge tackle by Brady Hopper. Nobody blocked him. Untouched. Clear pathway to cover the punt and get a turnover on downs.
And so we've seen the Warriors offense engineer a scoring drive. The defense getting a stop on 4th down. And now the second series of the night for Lions and the Pieper offense. Motion from Grindstaff. Going to flip it. Lacombe going to run it this time. Down the sidelines, Lacombe. A big burst into midfield and into Wagner territory.
And he doesn't get that little extra burst of yards at the end of that play without a block from Cash Lancaster. Right there, Lacombe up around. He's got a lot of yards to make up. Gets to the line of scrimmage. Great block from Cash Lancaster to push his teammate up. And we've got a wild snap.
Gets away, and Hopper trying to jump on it for Pieper, but Wagner says they've got it. Head official, though, pointing second down. Looks like Hopper got back on the ball.
Pieper with some uncharacteristic mistakes tonight over and over again. It's not even just one big mistake that they've made, but there's been multiple big penalties and then a wild snap. You could almost say there's been 4 huge mistakes by this Pieper offense.
All that said, Warriors still on top of the opener. Under minutes ago in the opening quarter from Warriors Coliseum. A loss of 22 on the bad snap. Lions steps up, rips one over the middle, caught, Grindstaff. And the Warriors get a chunk of the yardage back, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long.
And that's a soft spot in the defense that the Warriors can expose because those linebackers move up, safeties, cornerbacks, nobody moved up. And yet, on a great play where you just got a bunch of yards, there's a flag on the play.
And it's coming back again. Well, the penalties in this game have been so costly for Pieper.
Ineligible.
Illegal receiver downfield.
Against the Warriors. Repeat 2nd down.
Twice holding penalties have wiped off touchdowns for Pieper. A penalty on defense extended the drive for Wagner on the Thunderbirds' last possession. And this one takes away a 15-yard passing play for Lions. Now 2nd and 37. And swings it out to Lancaster. Gets a little bit back. And now Pieper looking at 3rd and forever.
How many times in your broadcasting career have you seen the down marker be that far away from the first down marker?
No, it's very rare. But we did see the Warriors convert on 3rd and 38 earlier. This is 3rd down. They're calling it 37.
It's just 1 yard less.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
But if you're Wagner, you've got to be able to get to Lions. He had too much time to throw on that last 3rd and long conversion.
You have to send more than 3 guys.
They bring 4. Lions down the field. Grindstaff to catch. Well short of the 1st down. And that could be the final play of the first quarter.
Still a smart play by the Wagner defense because you've got a lot of room to play with, and so you gave up a lot of yards on that pass from Lions, but you still have a 4th and 15 that you're going to make Pieper have to cover.
1 quarter in the books. Pieper on the opening drive of the game, striking for a touchdown on 3rd and long. And we go to the second with the Warriors on top of the T-Birds. 7-0 on the Warriors Network.
Your Warriors.
And welcome back to Pieper High School. Ready for the start of the second quarter with the Warriors on top of the Thunderbirds. 7-0. Grant Freeman alongside Noah Torr. Glad to have you with us on this Friday nights in 13 5A play. Other district opening games tonight. New Braunfels at MacArthur at Comalander Stadium in San Antonio. Reigning state champion Smithson Valley is at Bernie champion. And Seguin playing at Victoria East tonight as we usher in the new district season. Pieper with the football facing 4th and 17. And this is a quick punt, little pooch punt there. Nobody back deep for Wagner. Takes a Warriors roll down the sidelines and a coffin corner punt there for Pieper. And that will mark the ball inside the 10. Great punt there for Pieper, courtesy of Carter Norsworthy.
I mean, totally understand by Wagner not wanting to give up a potential fake punt, but you can at least send one guy back. You can send a dude back to go and cover the punt for you, so that way the ball doesn't take a Pieper bounce. You can, if nothing else, call a fair catch, and you're at the 15 instead of the 6.
So Wagner, both possessions tonight have started inside the 10. For an offense that really struggles to stretch the field, and now it is Jordan Prentice at a quarterback for Wagner, relieving Devontae Hughes for the time being. Prentice hands off to the dive back. Up the middle goes Luera. Second carry of the game is good for about 3 to bring up 2nd down and 7.
And you've got to think that's part of the game plan for head coach Nick Rogers and the Pieper Warriors, that if you can pin Wagner inside the 10, maybe even inside the 15, that you'll have to make them work and continue to churn out yards, and you might get the ball back on their side of the field, so that way you can go and score more points.
Prentice going to keep it himself. And sifting through a lot of traffic, and Prentice is going to muscle his way for a 1st down.
Takes the ball outside the 15.
Prentice coming into this game only had 7 rushing attempts on the season for 7 yards. He's almost doubled that in this first drive.
1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds.
You look at Wagner's offense this year, has only put up 62 points. Got shut out in week 2 at Dripping Springs. Held a 13 against St. Marcus last week. After the first quarter this year, they've scored a grand total of 28 points. The whistles before the snap. Might be another false start. Here is Wagner.
And this is not a knock at all against their first opponent in Long Creek, but Long Creek is even playing an outlaw season where they're scheduling different opponents. They don't even have seniors on their roster yet. And so it wasn't like they were playing a team like the Pieper Warriors. It wasn't like they were playing a team like San Marcos. They were playing almost a different level of competition. And so I think even looking at the past 2 games, those are probably a good idea of how the Wagner offense is going to perform.
Wagner got out to a 13-0 lead against San Marcos last week, led by 6 at halftime. But then the Rattlers scored on their first 6 second-half possessions, including 3 touchdowns in the first 30 seconds of the second half. On that play, only a yard or 2 there. That's it. We'll bring up 2nd down and long for Wagner.
Massive defensive stop for the Pieper Warriors. Ryder Herring just getting into the backfield and causing some chaos and confusion for the T-Birds.
Early here in the second quarter, second drive of the game for Wagner. First one was aided by a penalty on a punt. It wound up ending up in a turnover on downs. That pass incomplete. Prentice can't connect with Jamie O'Brien. And now Wagner staring down the barrel of 3rd and long.
In a huge defensive play. I don't even know if it needed to be taken to completion. And yet, Raha Lopez right there to finish the job just in case.
Lopez, one of 2 captains on this Pieper defense, along with veteran defensive end Thor Michael Bust. Wagner for the year in 3rd down, it's been tough. 21% conversion rate. And again, the big reason why a team that's been challenged through the air this year. They'll keep it on the ground. On 3rd and long. And now 4th and long coming up for Wagner. Houston Sims unable to get it off for the first down, and Wagner going to punt the ball away.
Sims bobbled the pitch right after he caught it. He had to jump over his own guy as he was getting pushed to the ground. Just a lot of chaos on the Wagner offense, and great performance from that Warrior defense to move it to fourth down, get the ball back, potentially on your own side of the field. We'll see here on the punt. But if you get the ball back on your own side of the field, you got to think you're in touchdown territory.
Jackson punts it away. Rice, the fair catch. Remember, he muffed the punt that kept Wagner's drive going early in the game. And here the fair catch will give the Warriors a football. Great starting field position coming up at their own 46.
First down for the Warriors.
It's been a very dramatic season for the Warriors so far. They won the opener at Bernie in a thriller. It was Tyler Lacombe who scored the game-winning touchdown with 2:15 to go in the fourth. Lost to Johnson in week 2. Turnover's a big issue for Pieper in a 31-22 setback. In the last week, it came down to the gun against Davenport. Lions in first down. Going to hand it off. Hopper, big hole off the right side, breaks the tackle. There he goes down the sidelines, inside the 10, and Hopper banged it out of bounds just outside the 5-yard line.
Brady Hopper is a dog. Hole up the gut, and it's just patient, consistent, and gritty running from Brady Hopper. He is a patient runner with great vision, which was on full display, that in wide open spaces, he was able to move and evade defenders and get a massive run.
Gain of 48, first and goal. It is a flip to Lacombe, and Lacombe into the end zone for the touchdown.
Who needs more than 2 plays to score a touchdown? Because apparently that's all you need. Just a little flip over to Lacombe, nobody in sight, huge block on the edge by Andrew Grindstaff. The blocking so far, which we don't talk about this often, but the blocking so far by the Pieper Warriors wide receivers has been unparalleled, because though that big play by Brady Hopper doesn't happen without great blocking from your wide receivers, that touchdown from Lacombe does not happen without great blocking from your wide receivers.
If you have the last name Lacombe, it's been a good night tonight. Carson, Tyler have both scored. After a quick 2-play drive, Pieper has doubled its lead. Warriors 14, Thunderbirds nothing. You're watching the 13 5A opener here on the Warriors Network.
Your score now.
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
And welcome back on the campus of Pieper High School. Beautiful view here just off campus outside of Warriors Coliseum. And a great showing in the stands as well on this Friday night as Pieper opens 13-5A play against Wagner. Looking at that, tell you 1-0 start for a team that has been dominant in district over the past 2 years. They have not lost a district game. And looking to keep that streak going tonight as they host Wagner to start 13-5A play. After a quick 2-play drive highlighted by the 48-yard run from Brady Hopper, 14-0 Warriors on top. Ensuing kick picked up at the 16-yard line, and this is returned out across the 20 by Jamel O'Brien. And Wagner out at offense for the 3rd time tonight. And this is not a team built to come from behind.
Absolutely not. This is not a team. This is a team that's meant to stay in games, but like you mentioned last week when they jumped out to a lead early against San Marcos, that's how this team wins football games, is that you jump out to a lead and then you can just control the clock. Anytime you've watched an Army game, anytime you've watched a Navy game, anytime you've watched an Air Force game, the way that they just control time of possession and how they control the football on offense, That's how you win football games out of the slot T offense. And so far, Wagner being down 14-0, they're going to have to, 1, churn out clock, and 2, score on this drive.
Javante Hughes back at quarterback as Wagner's gone back and forth with its quarterbacks to start the game between Hughes and Prentice. Nothing there on first down, maybe a yard for DeAndre Hollis, and it's 2nd and 9.
You've got to give it to this Pieper Warriors D-line. First guy to get on the football, holds on to the running back, and then everybody else just gets together. And Pieper is doing a great job crashing the middle. Said this earlier, but Wagner needs to get a little bit more creative out of this formation.
And it's a Pieper defense that has really struggled to stop the run this year. They've allowed more than 200 yards rushing in every game this season. Yet tonight, against this slot T triple option offense, they've been all over it as Hollis is stopped for no gain on 2nd down.
Well, I mean, this might not be fair. It's a little easier to stop the run when you know 87% of the time it might be a run.
Fair
and
enough.
Yet, they have done a great job stopping the run.
Last week, Pieper really challenged by running back Barrett Fallon of Davenport, who rushed for more than 200 yards and scored 4 touchdowns. But again tonight, so far, they've limited Wagner's triple option. Looking at 3rd down and 8. Hughes back to pass, steps up on the run, throws, incomplete. Broken up by Lopez. That'll bring up 4th down.
That was a great pass from Hughes. Put it right where it needed to be. We have not seen that so far tonight from Hughes. Drops back, rolls out to his right, tries to find his man, finds his man, hits his man, but he can't hold on to the football because you know what the Pieper Warriors are also good at on defense? Covering the pass.
Castillo, the target there for Wagner. If you recall, back in the first quarter, Jeremiah Castillo got behind Pieper's defense for what would have been a walk-in touchdown, but Hughes overshot him. His 2nd target of the game. And this punt, fielded by Rice at the 40. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks a 2nd. Rice on the return, inside of midfield, and finally brought down into Wagner territory to 38.
Wagner's not in full in, we're getting beat up territory, but they're getting close. If you get a touchdown from the Warriors and you end up being down 21-0 with the style of offense you run, with a defense who hasn't been able to stop the offense so far, because the only person who stopped this Pieper Warriors offense has been the Pieper Warriors offense with their penalties. The Wagner defense has had no chance except for earlier in the game. We talked about this, first down, 2nd down, 3rd down, but since then, Pieper's been able to do what they want to. Only took them 2 plays last time.
Empty backfield for Lions and 1st down. Back to pass. Rolls out, hit as he throws, and throws it away. Pressure coming from Rector, who's been a bright spot for Wagner so far tonight. And it's 2nd down and 10.
Lyons looked like he was trying to bait a roughing the passer call from the ref. As soon as he was down, got smacked, looked at the ref and said, hey, what are we doing here? Which, hard hit from Rector, but if you got a free shot at the quarterback as a defender, you absolutely take that.
Chase Lyons, the first quarterback for Pieper to start back-to-back games this year. Season began with Isaiah Gaitan at quarterback, then Tyler Lacombe in week 2. Last week, Lions, and Lions again this week. It's Hopper on the swing pass to the 1st down for the Warriors down to the Wagner 29.
It's the first time the Warriors have gotten that swing pass to work in their favor. The first 2 plays out of the gate were swing passes to Brady Hopper. They didn't have enough room to block downfield like they did there. But when you have a team on their heels anticipating the pass, you've got free room with a swing pass.
Well, again, didn't think the Warriors got a favorable spot. They mark Hopper a yard short, but now he's got the 1st down and then some. Hopper breaks to the outside. Hopper is gone in the end zone for the touchdown. On a 29-yard gallop, it is all Warriors tonight.
20/20 vision as a runner. Brady Hopper, the whole offensive line crashed right. Wagner crashed right. And then in a last-ditch effort for Wagner, trying to track him down, O'Brien thought he had him, and Hopper had wide open space on the left, saw it, took it, scored a tutty.
3 carries for Hopper tonight for 70 yards. The last 2 have gone for 48 and 29.
It's pretty good.
Yards per carry through the roof tonight for Hopper. And the onslaught continues for the Warriors on top of the district opener. 21-0 after the big run from Brady Hopper. Warriors on top big in the second quarter here in the Warriors Network.
Score now, Thunderbirds.
And welcome back to Warriors Coliseum. All Pieper. Moments ago, Brady Hopper, a 29-yard gallop into the end zone. Third rushing touchdown of the season. One of the captains for this Pieper offense, along with lineman Colton Green and John Como, along with receiver Andrew Grindstaff. Hopper, big part of the leadership council for the Warriors this year. And his last trip to pay dirt has put the Warriors on top 21-0. There was a window for Wagner in this game. Opening drive of the game for Pieper, looked at fourth down twice, had a 3rd and 38, and Wagner couldn't get off the field. Had a couple of chances on the ensuing possession to maybe score themselves, could not. Since then, it's been all Pieper. And this kick, fair catch is made, and that'll put Wagner up to the 20-yard line to start the next drive with a lot of work to do, down 3 touchdowns.
He did gallop into the end zone, didn't he?
He did. There was some contact towards the end of that play, but not a lot of contact between the handoff and the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should take this spot. That was good.
So, make it the 25, where Wagner will start after the fair catch made. When some of these games for the Thunderbirds have just gotten away from them in a hurry over the last 2 weeks, that it's kind of going down that path right now. Hughes remains at a quarterback, run and play up the left side, and only 2 to maybe 3 yards there on the carry from Josine Scott, and Wagner looking at 2nd and 7.
And this is some of the downsides that you can see of old school offense versus new school offense. This is a just textbook example of what we're getting tonight with Pieper's spread offense versus the slot T of Wagner, and how unfortunately when you don't have the right athletes to run this formation, it can be tough.
It's Sims in the pitch, and one of the better runs of the night for Wagner, good for a first down across the 35.
And yet, as I say that, great run. Great run by Sims off the pitch to get the first down for Wagner and get an ounce of momentum into this offense.
Well, Wagner right now, I mean, they need points, but they also need to consume some clock, keep the defense off the field. They have to be exhausted after the last 2 drives from Pieper.
Well, the defense hasn't even been on the field that long against going on the offense, so maybe they're not. They got some juice, but maybe not enough.
That's a good counterpoint there. The drives have been quick for Pieper. First down, Hughes, hands off, Scott barrels ahead of the 41 after a gain of 5 on first down.
I'll at least give you this. There's not a ton of wind in the sails.
Right.
But a great run from Wagner. And then you've got 2nd and short. Wagner's doing exactly what we've talked about that we would hope that they would do, and that's get some decent chunks off the run and chew up the clock. The clock continuing to run now at 4:50.
2nd down and 5. And Hughes will keep it. And Hughes past the first down marker to the chain. So the ideal situation here, if you're Wagner, score on the drive using most of the remaining clock, and you get the football to start the second half, you score there again, all of a sudden you're back in the game.
That's exactly what you're hoping for. And so far, not to get ahead of myself, they're looking pretty good. Offense has been churning out some yards on this drive.
Every play of the drive has been on the ground. No passing yet from Wagner. We've seen them go to the air maybe a little bit more than we expected when the game started, but now playing back to the strengths on this possession. Boy, a lot of confusion there. You could see Josine Scott in the backfield frustrated with the sophomore quarterback not getting the play-in and Wagner forced to use the timeout.
And that's never a good sign, is when you have two players fighting. Doesn't matter if it's on the sideline, doesn't matter if it's on the field, anywhere. When you've got players in miscommunication and they're arguing and you can visibly see frustration, never a good sign.
Let's talk more about Wagner. The head coach, Jason Starr, 5th season now with the Thunderbirds, was the offensive coordinator for Wagner prior under head coach Charles Bruce. After his great tenure, Wagner left to take the job at Brandeis. You look at the last 3 seasons of what Jason Starr's program has accomplished. Back-to-back winning years in 22 and 23. Went to the playoffs both years, winning 10 district games. But a year ago, Wagner failed to make the postseason for the first time since 2021. And in this district, finishing the top 4 is going to be extremely difficult.
This is one of the toughest districts. I could be wrong. This has got to be one of the toughest districts in the state of Texas.
You have Smithson Valley, state champion. You have Pieper, who hasn't been beaten in district play in the last 2 years, as that pass falls incomplete. You got New Braunfels is playing really well right now at 3-0. Bernie champion after a 2-1 start. And again, it is an 8-team district, and it is going to be a dogfight between now and early November.
Yeah, finishing in top 4. And you could even look at everybody who's in that district, and you could almost pick out who's going to finish top 4, or at least top 3, and then 4 is going to be up for grabs. Smithson Valley looks really good this year. Pieper, you could arguably say, is going to be in that top 3. New Braunfels has come out and looked really good as well. So that number 4 spot is going to be up for grabs.
2nd and 10. Hughes has some space. Hughes inside the 40. And the best run of the night with the sophomore quarterback down to the 37-yard line. It's a gain of 15 and a first down for Wagner.
That's a big-time run from Hughes. Able to make something work in the middle. Finally, a big-time run from the Wagner Thunderbirds.
So this drive, this is what Wagner wants to be. Keep the ball on the ground. Don't stay behind the chains. Keep the clock moving. On top of possession. But ultimately, got to find a way to score. Before the snap, another timeout taken by Wagner.
Timeout, Wagner.
And for the Thunderbirds, that is their 3rd and final timeout.
And you can imagine they don't want to be taking timeouts right now. You want to try to chew up the clock. It looks like coach ran out onto the field. A little, again, miscommunication that's happening. Wagner needs to make some decisive decisions here in the next 3 minutes because like we talked about, you go score a touchdown, now you're only down by 14, and then you get the ball back at the start of the half, and then you can walk your way down again and score a touchdown. And the key word there is walk your way down to the end of the field.
A look at the Pieper huddle. Warriors winning 11 games a year ago, a perfect regular season, going 10-0. And they lost an absolute heartbreaker in the postseason. In the second round, played Corpus Christi Flower Bluff, lost a wild overtime game, 57-56 final. But a lot of players back for the Warriors this year. Ball on the ground. And jumped back on by Wagner. Hughes back on it. And 2nd down and long here for the Thunderbirds as we wind the final 3 minutes of the second quarter.
One of the first big mistakes by the Wagner offense. They've honestly been pretty consistent, been pretty tight, even though they haven't gotten a ton of yards, even though they haven't been flashy nor wildly impressive. That is one of the first big mistakes. You can give it to the Wagner coaching staff that their team on offense has not had a ton of penalties.
Hughes will keep it, and he takes a shot. Big hit from that Pieper defense, and it's Bennett King, the senior, making a play, and it's 3rd and long.
Bennett King met right in the middle. All the D linemen took the major blows from the offensive linemen, from some of the other blockers that are running backs, and then Bennett King just sneaks his way, meets him in the gap, puts him in the ground.
King averaging about 10 tackles a game. And now we see a timeout taken by the Warriors.
Timeout on the field.
With 2:26 to go here in the half, and Pieper on top 21-0. We talk about district play. Well, next week, Wagner will play on a short week. They play Thursday against MacArthur. Meanwhile, for Pieper, their game next week, arguably the toughest one on the schedule, as they go to Smithson Valley to take on the reigning state champion Rangers.
Smithson Valley, that is a tough matchup. And even this season so far for Smithson Valley, they're 2-1 going into district play and currently smoking Bernie Champion 24-7 in the second quarter.
Head coach Larry Hill has been at the helm of that program since 1991. One losing season for Larry Hill, and that was the first year. Smithson Valley went 1-9, and they have been a state powerhouse since then. They've been to the state title game in back-to-back years, and then Larry Hill won that elusive state championship for the first time this past December, beating Highland Park rather, in the state championship game. 3rd and long, Hughes back to pass, fires incomplete off the hands of Sims. The passing windows have been there for Wagner, but they have yet to get a connection as Hughes is 0 for 6 through the air.
I will say this about Hughes on the last couple of passes. There's been more mustard on that football. He's been zipping it in there. The pass before that hit his receiver. Receiver couldn't hold on to the football that time. Pass a little bit high, but he's trending. He's starting to trend in the right direction. There's a little more speed on that ball as it's coming out of his hands.
Actually fortunate that Jack Trevino didn't pick that off. You see Hughes staying in the field here for Wagner. But this will lead to a punt from Villarreal. And Pieper will start out near the 20-yard line. They'll mark it to the 17 with 2:25 to go. Now, Pieper's starting behind his own 25, but they've had chunk plays the last 2 possessions. It doesn't feel like field position is a big factor if you're with the Warriors right now.
And that's what everybody across the district knows that Pieper's great at on offense, is just churning out big chunks of yards in small amounts of time. Took him a while on the first drive to get there, but since then, that offense has been firing on all cylinders.
First half of Lions from zone 17. Back to pass to the sidelines and incomplete.
Pass ball's incomplete. Intended for
That was Caleb Sumter, the intended receiver, and it's 2nd and 10.
Second down for the Warriors.
We've seen Lions put the ball through the air now 14 times. Has the 1 touchdown to Carson Lacombe. Facing 2nd and 10. Here's the rush. Lions gets out of it. Able to complete that to Lacombe. And out of bounds to the 25-yard line, and Lions look pretty elusive there.
Somehow got out of a dangerous situation where pass coverage just broke down. Wagner brought the house, and Lions able to move up in the pocket, find his man Lacombe as he sneaks his way out of bounds, which is key that the clock stops. And now you have 3rd and short and still can keep the ball moving.
After gain of 8 for Lacombe, 3rd and 2. There's a flip to Lancaster on the sweep. He's got blocks. Lacombe down the sidelines, across the 40. That'll move the sticks for Pieper.
The blocking downfield is creating tons and tons of space for the run game of the Warriors. Andrew Grindstaff absolutely gets the grind award so far. If there's a first half grind award, it goes to Andrew Grindstaff for his blocking.
Timeout Pieper with 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
I also don't think I've gotten this excited about wide receiver blocking in a while, but I'm loving it.
It's been great tonight. A lot of great downfield blocks for the Warriors, helping open up the running lanes beyond the secondary. Last run for Lancaster, good for 17 yards. He's been a really huge, big play threat this year for the Warriors offense. 3 touchdowns in the passing game, 2 of those coming against Johnson in week 2. We talked a lot about the talent for Pieper over the years. The last 2 seasons, the Warriors have turned out 5 Division I players. Caden Glass Now at Coastal Carolina in the Sun Belt, Hiram McCarter. At New Mexico, a program that just beat UCLA handily last week in Southern California. Caden Key, talked about him earlier, now at Houston Christian in the Southland Conference. And a couple of players playing a nearby Incarnate Word. Evan Drake and Isaiah Champagne, both playing for Clinton Killow and the Cardinals out of the Southland.
And not to mention a couple more players on the field right now with D1 offers. Offensive lineman John Como and defensive lineman Thor Mickelbust. Just some tanks on this Pieper Warriors football squad.
That was actually our 2-minute timeout. No timeout charge to Pieper. 2 minutes to go. Rogers swings it complete. Lancaster turns on the Jets, out of bounds. Right around the midfield stripe. Second down coming up for the Warriors.
Wagner having a hard time covering the edges of the football field because they've got so many guys inside where you try to stack the box. Pieper's able to take advantage of the outside of the football field, get out of bounds, churn out yards. Pieper's moving.
After a gain of 7, Lions going to flip it. And a run to the outside. Sumter spins out of a tackle. And down to the Wagner 41 for another Pieper first down.
So far, Caleb Sumter has looked pretty good as a runner. The run game for Pieper has been on par, and it hasn't just been simple handoffs out of the backfield. It's been pitches. It's been a lot of motion and movement. The Warriors offense has been moving and grooving.
Lions lost the football, picked up by the Thunderbirds, and taken back to the 35-yard line by Jeremiah Cruz. The first big break of the game for Wagner as they take over into Pieper territory.
Talk about a change in momentum. Lions overwhelmed by the pressure, goes to the ground, loses the football, and Wagner has great field position. Jeremiah Cruz, the linebacker. Wow.
With turnovers have been an issue for the Warriors this season. That is their 7th already. The 6th forced by Wagner's defense, and now the Thunderbirds with some life and the football at the Pieper 34. Using first down. Pressured, and down he goes. Carter Norsworthy shot and unblocked for the sack in a 2nd and long.
Hughes had his eyes downfield trying to find his man. Didn't even see Carter Norsworthy blowing him up. Massive sack for Norsworthy.
A timeout taken here. Timeout called by Pieper. Head coach Nick Rogers, top of the clock with 1:02 to go, leading 21-0.
He's trying to get the football back.
You think about how quickly the Warriors have struck offensively. You get a 3-and-out here from Wagner after the turnover, and maybe a chance for the Warriors to add their lead.
You've already got the defense on their heels, but the defense, I will say, does have some momentum after the fumble on Lions and then the great field position. But the Warriors have been able to keep Wagner on their heels on defense. I mean, it only took them 2 plays to score their 2nd touchdown. That was crazy.
Touchdown to the game for the Warriors, courtesy of Brady Hopper on a 29-yard run, Tyler Lacombe on a 6-yard run, and Carson Lacombe on a 38-yard touchdown pass from Chase Lyons on 3rd and 38. Out of the timeout. It is 2nd down and long. 2nd and 17.
Brought down the line of scrimmage.
And now 3rd and 17, and Nick Rogers will spin his 3rd and final timeout.
And you can see some visible frustration from number 30, Scott, in the backfield as he was jumping up and down. I don't know about what, maybe just the results of the play or the play call, but there's some frustration on this Wagner offense that is unable to get past the Pieper defense.
Wagner gift wrap with the football and turnover from Chase Lyons, but they've gone backwards since. And now staring at 3rd down and 17. Talk a little bit about district as you look back at non-district play in 13-5A. One team coming out unbeaten. New Braunfels going 3-0 in non-district play. 3 other teams with winning records: Smithson Valley, Bernie Champion, and Seguin. Pieper, Wagner, 1 win each, and Victoria East and MacArthur both winless at 0-3. And out of the timeout, Piper's defense back onto the field. Been a tough goal for the defense past couple of weeks, but pitching a shutout tonight.
Massive 3rd down for the Wagner offense.
On your feet, it's 3rd down.
If you're Wagner, you run the ball, you can use up a lot of the remaining clock and perhaps avoid giving Pieper a scoring chance as long as Sims stays in bounds and he goes out. You talk about situational awareness. If you're Wagner there, you have to keep the ball in play. Instead, you're looking at 4th down with the clock stopped.
Now you just gave Pieper a chance. If you punt that football, which it looks like they're going to, you just gave a high-octane offense a full minute with wheels off to do whatever they want, and that is dangerous territory, and you know Nick Rogers is licking his chops at the chance to go score another touchdown.
Another punt coming from Julius Jackson. And that is headed towards the end zone, but takes a Wagner bounce and is killed by the Thunderbirds down to the 1-yard line. With under a minute to go, and so the Warriors get the football back, yes, but no timeouts left, less than a minute to go, and with 99 yards in front of them.
That was a crazy bounce. The football is such a weird shape that it can take a bounce like that. I mean, it was headed straight for the back of the end zone, takes a weird bounce, and you get to pin them at the 1-yard line. But we've seen some crazy things. I've seen crazy things from the Pieper Warriors offense in the past. Let's see if they can repeat history and do something within 57 seconds.
Remember, the last drive for the Warriors ended on a turnover on a lost fumble by Lions, who will now take this next snap out of his own end zone. Back to pass. Lions over the middle. Got a man. Breaking free. Grindstaff down the sidelines, out of bounds. Near midfield, another chunk play for this Pieper offense.
You could see that coming from a mile away when Pieper sends out 5 wide receivers, forcing Wagner to play man coverage against elite receivers. You don't stand a chance. There was nobody in the middle of the field to help contain Grindstaff, and he was off and running.
A gain of 48. Lancaster to the outside. Turns on the Jets. Lancaster gone. 2 plays, 99 yards, and a touchdown.
There have been 2 touchdowns on 2 different plays. There's been 4 total plays at one point and 2 touchdowns. A massive run from Lancaster, but let's point out, Ramsey, defensive back, it looked like he just gave up on that play. He had a shot at Lancaster, and he just gave up. Lancaster's fast, but the angle that he could have taken, that is terrible effort from the Wagner defense, and you cannot have that.
But again, I go back to Houston Sims going out of bounds on the 3rd down play for Wagner. If he stays in bounds, could change the entire dynamic of Pieper's final first half possession. Well, at that point after, doomed from the start. Kind of a delay in the kick attempt from Lopez. Point after no good, and Pieper will settle for 6 on that trip. But they are in command right now on top 27-0.
But it does bring up our score here in the first half at Warrior Coliseum with 37.6 seconds to play.
How they ever gonna find us? Shipwreck on the mountain, rubbernecking all the outlaws. It's who we wanna be. Belly up and just
And welcome back to Warriors Coliseum. And it is all Pieper. They've rattled off several big plays in this first half. 29-yard touchdown run, Brady Hopper. 48-yard completion to Grindstaff from Lions. Lions a 38-yard touchdown hookup with Carson Lacombe. And moments ago, Cash Lancaster on a 51-yard run. Untouched into the end zone to make it 27-0.
Kick to the sideline.
Both teams out of timeouts, 37 seconds to go. And if you're Wagner here, you got to play conservative. You cannot give the ball back to Pieper before the half ends.
At this point, you might as well take a knee, call it a day. Just take a knee, call it a day, go talk, go have a huddle in the locker room, go have a conversation about how this first half has gone. Some of it out of your control, where Pieper is just a great team that you were facing. But there are things in your control. There's blocks that have been missed. There's miscommunication. There's frustration between teammates. There is lack of effort. There are things that are happening that you can fix based on discipline. There's a lot of things to have conversations about in the locker room.
First down with the 25. It is a pitch, and it's Scott. And Scott blasted at the 30-yard line. And we'll see if Wagner runs another play. They don't have to. Play clock will be turned off here with under 30 seconds to go.
For the Warriors, Herring.
Doesn't look like they're in any hurry to run another play.
25.
Or maybe they will.
Second down.
Offense lining up for another snap. Under 10 seconds to go. Hughes will run a play. Play to the outside across the 40. Out of bounds. But not before the final second ticks off the clock. And we are through one half of 13 5A play. All Pieper. The Warriors have not lost a district game over the past 2 years. And on the way to another district win tonight. On top of Wagner, big at the break. It's Pieper 27, Wagner nothing. You're watching high school football here on the Warriors Network.
We're out here to represent and honor the fallen firefighters and just first responders that lost their lives at both, the towers and the Pentagon event.
I think it's very important to honor all the people who have come before us to help our nation and just make America a better place for all of us, because even if they're not here, we can still honor their lives and give the honor that they deserve for what happened on 9/11. So when everyone walked up the stadium today, we all got a lanyard of different first responders' names to honor who they were. And so today we're gonna all go home and research a little bit more about our person to just learn a little bit more about the day that many of us weren't able to witness.
It's so special to see them doing this with us, and we can't do it without the support of the community and just the people around us keeping us going. Them out here walking with us and doing the climb with us is really special.
Hey Pieper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
I think it's important to build relationships in school so that way students feel safe, heard, and respected. When school is a safe place for children, they are more eager and encouraged to learn.
Miss Kale, she's an amazing teacher. She makes the class so much more fun than it is because I'm strong in math, but I don't really like math classes, but she makes me want to try in math. And she makes me want to come to school and be in her class every day.
I'm just thankful that he is not afraid to ask questions. And I love that we can have a banter and be honest with one another. I just definitely think that building those relationships helps develop the trust with students, and just having somebody else other than their mom or dad or siblings. I want my room to be a safe place to tell me good things, sad things, whatever they're excited about. I love hearing their stories and getting to know them, because ultimately it's not just about math, it's about learning. But I want them to have fun. I want them to be excited to come to my room.
Miss Boucher, I had her for 6th period ELA. She was always so kind, and she was always really patient with people. And if you weren't there for a couple days, she wouldn't rush you to get your work done. She would give you time and help you do it. And she never yelled. She was just always very kind and patient.
The students are incredible. I have just completely fallen in love with teaching, and the students are a huge part of that. I think I look forward to seeing them every single day, just like some of them look forward to seeing me. So I think that's really special, and I don't take that lightly. I really appreciate them being excited to come to my class. I take pride in that for sure. Morgan is an incredible student. I remember last year I had her when she was in 6th grade, and every single day we would walk, whenever we would go pick up students from lunch, Morgan and I would walk together.
When you have somebody who's there for you and cares about you, it makes school more fun to go to and more exciting, and you can look forward to it.
I love Miss Namaste because we both snort when we laugh, and we both love Taylor Swift. Her class is fun because we get to do lots of projects and activities.
It's so refreshing to have students like Emily in my class that are so eager and excited to be at school, because it makes me know that I'm doing the right thing in my job. We have a bond together that I know I'm going to remember her for the rest of my life, and she'll forever hold such a place in my heart as her 1st grade teacher. As much as I remember her, I hope she will remember me.
Are you sure you don't want to go to the movies, Abuela?
Mijo, I love you, but I prefer the classic movies. You go, have a good time. What's this?
Just come with me.
Oh, ay, mijo.
Your choice, Abuela.
GVTC, connecting you.
You know, everyone's lifestyle inside is all connected through Wi-Fi. Your IoT devices, your TV, the streamers, the gamers. And we in Texas, we love being out in the backyard. We love extending, I think, what we do inside to the outside. Whether it's grilling, whether it's swimming, hanging out at night, listening to music, the outdoor Wi-Fi product really extends that Wi-Fi in your lifestyle to the outdoors. We think about connecting products like your security cameras that you can get through GVTC. Talk about your smart lights, your smart speakers. It's the she shed outside, right? For all the women who love to do projects outside, just the same as a workshop. Wherever you want to connect your Wi-Fi, it really is taking the best of the indoor premium Wi-Fi and extending it outdoors into whatever lifestyle that you have.
Today, they'll be performing a jazz tune, Houdini. Ladies and gentlemen, please give one more round of applause for our Pieper High School Legacies dance team. We would also like to recognize our amazing Pieper cheer. Your Pieper varsity cheerleaders are under the direction of Susie Mansfield, with assistance from Farla Dorsifal. The cheerleader of the week is Peyton Vistu. Joining us from San Antonio, Texas, please welcome your two-time consecutive UIL State Marching Contest qualifiers, the Pieper High School Band of Warriors. Warriors 2025 show is dedicated this year to our incredible Pieper fan base and is entitled Ethereus, featuring the music of U2, David Gillingham, Jules Massenet, and John Mackey. Listen for the sounds of the battle within the spiritual realm as the band of warriors takes you to the skies with Ethereus. This Pieper High School halftime is proud to welcome drum majors Laney Flores, Brady Barker, Vanessa Nunez, Josiah Cantu, and the Pieper High School Band of Warriors. is under the direction of Cody Jack. Pieper Ranch Middle School directors are Dan Green and Kendall Tucker. Bovoti Middle School directors are Daniel Eicher and Taylor Lovato Cruz. Band section of the week is the Flutes. The Band of Warriors is brought to you by a team of incredible community sponsors. This year, we are proud to thank our gold-level corporate sponsors, San Martin Orthodontics, Canyon Springs Family Dental, Perry's Pizzeria and Top House Stone Oak, Design Savvy Interiors, Budnick Pool Services, and CBC Northside. We would also like to thank our platinum-level sponsors, Lookout Eye Care and Pieper Smiles Dentistry. Finally, a most heartfelt thank you to our top-level Warriors sponsors, Triumph Construction and Engineering, A&A Transportation, the Hope Group Realty, and BJ's Restaurant and Brew House at Stanford. The Pieper Band would also like to thank our new principal, Lauren Knight, and the most supportive administrator.
Hey Pieper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
And welcome back to Warriors Coliseum. All Pieper here at the break on top of Wagner, 27-0. And getting you ready for the start of the second half. Brent Freeman alongside Noah Tour on this Friday night for the 13 5A opener here on the campus of Pieper High School. And we saw it, Noah, in that first half. A lot of big plays from Pieper's offense and started to pull away in this game against Wagner.
A lot of big plays from the Warriors offense after drive number one. That feels like a good clarifier, after drive number one. But drive number one, the anomaly, we don't remember that. We just erased that from our memories. The Pieper Warriors offense has been electric. There were two separate times on two different drives where it only took 2 plays to score a touchdown. It was absolutely electric. And what's funny is that if you have a history with the Pieper Warriors team and you know that they're an explosive offense, you're like, okay, sure, that came off passing. It's like, no. Those actually came off runs, which is wild to consider. And it wasn't just Brady Hopper. That's another thing to consider. Pieper is exploring so many different facets of their offense right now, and it is fun to watch.
The Warriors come out of the field as they get ready to take the field for the third quarter. You look back at the big plays for Pieper in the first half. Quarterback Chase Lyons on the opening drive on 3rd down and 30+. Hooked up with Carson Lacombe at a 38-yard touchdown to get the scoring started for Pieper. Brady Hopper later in the half, a 29-yard touchdown run. Tyler Lacombe, a 6-yard run into the end zone, and a big play from Cash Lancaster, 51-yard touchdown run on what ended a 2-play, 99-yard drive for Pieper within the final minute of the second quarter. So if you're Wagner, in terms of second half adjustments, I mean, it's going to be tough for a team that, you know, with its style of play, doesn't lend itself to big comfort behind wins. You know, Wagner ideally wants to limit possessions in a game, and they need at least 4 to come back to win. And that's if the defense pitches a shutout. So they're going to have to limit big plays, get off the field in a hurry when they're on defense, and offensively, they've got to find a way to hit big plays themselves.
There was hopefully a light your world on fire type of halftime speech that was just given. There is hopefully some sort of just lighting a fire, because you're absolutely right. There is so much that has to happen on this football field for the Wagner Thunderbirds, for them to get back into this football game and for them to come back and make a statement. Nothing is impossible. I don't want it to feel like that we're just dogging on Wagner right now, but it's hard when you're down 27-0. You are down 4 touchdowns, and so far haven't proven that you can get to your end zone and put points on the scoreboard.
Wagner at halftime last week led San Marcos 13-7. And in the second half, the game really got away from the Thunderbirds as the Rattlers scored their first 6 second half possessions, scoring touchdowns in the first 3 of them in the first 30 seconds of the third quarter. And Wagner can ill afford to start like that in the second half tonight. The Thunderbirds will get the ball to start the second half, as Pieper gets ready to kick off, putting the ball on the tee is Logan Lopez.
And back deep for the Thunderbirds is number 0, Sims, and number 3, O'Brien.
And the second half underway from Warriors Coliseum. Fair catch called for and made by Jamie O'Brien. And Wagner will start at the 25-yard line. A lot of wood to chop. Down 27-0.
Thunderbirds learned on special teams, where in their first kickoff to receive was down within the 5-yard line. They've started many possessions within the 5-yard line, but they've learned. Fair catch, move it up to the 25, call it a day. Don't try to do anything fancy.
And the first quarterback out for the Thunderbirds to start the second half is Javante Hughes. Saw a split of him and Jordan Prentice in the first half. First plays a run off the middle, and that is one of the bigger runs of the night for Wagner. J'Anthony Joyner-Price, who we did not see in the first half. Wagner's leading rusher didn't play in the first 2 quarters. His first carry of the game is good for 20 yards.
Big gap up the middle. Just nobody touched him until he got about 15 yards down the field. Tried to make a little, I think that was a swim move, was what he tried to do over the top of the Pieper defender. And then he ended up going down, but massive run from Price. That's what you love to see from your lead back.
A lot of shifting in the offensive line for Wagner on this first down play. Another run up the guts into Pieper territory to the 49 again for Joyner-Price. A big-time playmaker for the Thunderbirds in the opener. For Wagner scored 5 touchdowns in the season opening win.
Wagner 8 touchdowns on the season, 5 of those on the ground to Price, and then another one through the air. So he's got 6 out of their 8 touchdowns this season, 9 touchdowns, excuse me.
Second down and 4. Joyner-Price got hit not long after getting the football. And that'll bring up third down. Lacombe on the stop. 3rd and 2 now for Wagner.
On the first couple of plays from Wagner, that's the type of explosiveness and that's the type of creativity that you want to see within that slot T. And that was poetry.
3rd down and 2. Opening drive of the third quarter for Wagner. Trying to find its way back into the game. Hughes, first down and then some. And the Thunderbirds navigate to the Pieper 36 for another first down.
Wagner has some life. Runs around his lead blocker, makes a move, gets downfield, and Wagner's moving the football.
First down, Thunderbirds.
Gain of 11 there for Hughes. Been Wagner's leading rusher tonight. Drive that started back at their own 25. Now the Pieper 36. Joyner-Price to the 33. Ran for 100 yards last week against San Marcos and scored one of the 2 touchdowns for Wagner. Now the Thunderbirds looking at 2nd and 6.
met in the gap by Herring, brought down. But again, that's a chunky yards. This is exactly what we have been talking about, that this is the game plan that Wagner has to have. Churn out consistent, decent chunks of yards and run that clock out.
The Thunderbirds have been doing a lot of this on the drive, shifting the offensive line as Hughes can't handle the snap. Brings up 3rd and long for Wagner on the opening drive of the second half.
Second time that's happened between Hughes and his center, where the ball ends up on the ground, and that doesn't fully take away momentum, but it does start to ask some question marks as this drive isn't at a full halt, but it's at least a yellow light.
3rd down, 7 to go. Joyner Price in the backfield again. It's going to be a pitch to the outside, and a 1st down inside the 20 goes Scott. Makes a move, spins out of a tackle, and Scott still running all the way down to the 1-yard line. And they'll say he's in. Josie Scott in for the touchdown at a 33-yard run.
Where was that in the first half? Massive block to start off from Barbosa on the left side, and then makes his way all the way to the right side of the field. Spin move, and then cuts back while he's in the middle and blows right through the defensive lineman to barrel his way into the end zone.
Wagner on the scoreboard, and the snap mishandled by Noah Barbosa, the holder. And Wagner will settle for 6. Opening drive of the second half leads to a Wagner touchdown. 8:30 to go in the 3rd. Pieper 27, Wagner 6 here on the Warriors Network.
With the defensive stop, Charles.
And welcome back to Warriors Coliseum. Wagner goes 75 yards in the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. And it felt like the insertion of J'Anthony Joyner Price into the backfield gave Wagner some life. Some big runs on that drive, ultimately leading to the 33-yard touchdown run from Josine Scott.
There was a different kind of juice in that backfield when Price entered into the ballgame.
And for Scott, first time he's reached the end zone since the season opener when he scored twice in the win over the Dragons. And this kick fielded at the 5, mishandled by Lancaster, picks it up across the 15. And the Warriors will start short of the 20 on their first possession of the 3rd quarter.
Out past the 15
Lancaster
to the
coming up,
16-yard
Gimby.
line where the Warriors will have it.
Keep an eye on that throughout the rest
10.
of the night, but doesn't look like he's going to be quick to come back out on offense.
Had that huge 51-yard run for a touchdown late in the 2nd quarter. And off the sidelines here for the Warriors.
Might have been why he was slow to grab the ball after he muffed the kickoff.
This year, just the 4th varsity season for Warriors football. And they have won 23 games over the past 2 years after winning 2 in their first ever varsity season. Here's Lyons at 1st down to throw, and he's going deep down the far side for Lacombe, and overshot him, incomplete. And he was able to beat the coverage from Von Ray Ramsey in his 2nd attempt.
Lyons never took his eye off of Lacombe, stared him down the whole way, and yet Lacombe was a full step ahead of the Wagner defense. Couldn't complete it, but that would have been a touchdown for sure.
Team high 4 catches in the night for Carson Lacombe, including that 38-yard touchdown on the opening drive of the game. Get a good look there at Javion Rector, one of the great D linemen for Wagner. Lyons throws that away. Pass rush getting there from Rector, and Pieper now looking at 3rd and 10, but there is a penalty marker back at the 17.
for the Warriors.
Warriors penalized 4 times in the first half. 2 of those wiped out touchdowns, albeit on a drive Pieper would ultimately score on.
We have a flag on the play.
Head official looking back at the Wagner sideline. And that would indicate this is against Pieper.
Illegal, ineligible receiver downfield.
And they will decline to bring up 3rd and 10.
Declined, it'd be 3rd down.
Don't want to start a bad trend on offense for Pieper. That was one of the key things that went against them in the first half was mistakes and penalties. You don't want to start a bad trend at the start of the second half.
Lions deep drop, steps up, heaving it deep. He wants the comb, double covered and incomplete.
Lions really wants to hit Lacombe deep. He really wants to try to get his man some yards. In double coverage, not the smartest decision. You're trying to catch the defense off guard. They think you're going to try to go short, just try to get the first down, but instead you go deep. Totally understand the thought process. Wasn't there. And now an aggressive Wagner offense in the second half. Yeah, aggressive. They're going to get the ball back.
Second half starting exactly like Wagner needed it to. Touchdown drive followed by a 3-and-out force for the defense. And this punt, first one of the night for Pieper, will take a Warriors bounce to the 34, make it 33-yard line.
Is going to be down.
51-yard punts for the Warriors. And now if you're Wagner, if you can find a way to piece together back-to-back scoring drives, suddenly this game becomes very interesting.
You and I are having a totally different conversation. If Wagner marches down to the end zone, scores a touchdown, and key thing here, which I didn't think we were going to have to say, but converting on the extra point. You've already given up your one mistake, and you can still make it 27 if you convert on the extra point. Not quite go for 2 territory, but a huge drive for the Thunderbirds.
Under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter in the 13-5A district opener. Hughes on the keeper, and Hughes across midfield, taken down from behind. Down to the Pieper 39-yard line for a first down.
Now we're running with some authority. The Thunderbirds. Some massive blocking from not only the offensive line, but also that help from the running backs. And it looks like Hughes was kind of stumbling, and then Lopez was also caught off guard, and they were both confused, and then Hughes just kept running.
A gain of 27 for the sophomore quarterback, Javante Hughes. Last 2 runs for Wagner have gone for 60 yards. Price spinning his way inside the 35 to the 33, gained 6. And Wagner was not winning first down in the first half. They're winning it here in the second.
They are absolutely winning, and it's a combo of there is some great blocks, there's some great running, there's some hard running. They're actually running behind their pads is what it looks like. They're not scared. And I think it's caught Pieper off guard, and they don't quite know what to do. There's some bad tackling happening right now on that Warriors defense.
Second down and 4. It's Hughes with a flag in. As it stands right now, Hughes has the first, but this could come back and hold.
Penalty flag on the play. Holding against the Thunderbirds.
And it is a hold, negating the first down run from Hughes. Third penalty tonight against Wagner.
So far, Wagner has been winning the penalty battle. If you can call it a battle right now, Wagner is winning it. But that is a massive penalty that backs you up. And now you've got a long way to go, which so far in the second half, they have proven that they can gain big yards on big runs, and that's new. So we're going to see if that trend can actually continue as they got a lot of yards to gain.
After the penalty, second down and 14. Approach the halfway point of the third quarter. Hughes to throw, and it's picked. taken back inside of midfield. Janelli down the sidelines. And that is a pick six. Brody Janelli takes it back to the house, and Pieper's pulling away in the third.
I am in utter disbelief. Wide open receiver, Hughes, overthrows him. He was maybe 8 yards in front of him, not even that. But a great return by the Pieper defense. Only had a couple guys to beat. Janelli shed a tackle and promptly made his way to the end zone. Huge touchdown for the Warriors.
Brady Janelli with a pick six for Pieper. And with the Warriors, the defense, just a second turnover they forced this year. First since the opener is good, going the other way. The defense getting in on the axe. And Pieper on top, 33-6 over Wagner here on the Warriors Network.
Hey Pieper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors.
And welcome back as you look at Brady Janelli, the veteran safety. A pick six on the interception throw by Javonte Hughes, who has yet to complete a pass tonight. That is first interception of the game, third of the year, and for the Warriors, their first interception defensively this season. That's good for a house call for Janelli. Now on top, 34-6.
What a way to capitalize on your first interception of the season. Just take it to the house. That is a beautiful way to fire up your defense.
And ensuing kick. Fair catch called for at the 20-yard line by Jamie O'Brien. Well, if you're Wagner, you had the ball. Defense got a 3-and-out. Offense just scored. Got a big play from Javonte Hughes. But after a penalty and a turnover, momentum squarely back on Pieper's side.
I don't know if I'm throwing the football. So far, that hasn't worked. Is there a completion so far tonight?
There's
for
not.
For Wagner, no completions on offense. And running has worked so far in the second half. That's a good clarifier. Running has worked. So I think you continue to pound the football down Pieper's throat.
First down, short run, back to the line of scrimmage. That is about it. There for Wagner. Joyner Price in the carry. It's second and 10.
By number 41, Miles Austin.
One of the first times this Pieper defense has gotten a stop like that against Price. He's been doing whatever he's wanted to in the second half. But now you've got momentum, and your defense is able to put a big stop to one of the big guys on Wagner's offense.
Second down, run up the middle. Joyner Price down to the 33. 4-touchdown game with Pieper on top as we wind the final 5:40 of the third quarter. And there is a Warrior down around the 33-yard line. It's Ryder Herring, Piper's leading tackler a week ago against Davenport, 14 stops. Big part of the defense for head coach Nick Rogers, and looking at him right now.
15 tackles this season, averages about 7.5 per game. One of the stars on that Pieper Warriors defense.
Up on his feet, and now make his way to the sideline. It is a very deep linebacking core for the Warriors. Tyler Lacombe, a two-way player, one of the starters on defense. Haven't talked a lot about Leighton Springer. Ryder Herring, Utah Strong, Carter Norsworthy, all a part of that deep linebacking core for Pieper. And outside of one drive tonight by Wagner, this defense has been up to the task. stopping the slot T offense for Wagner. It's Scott spinning out of a tackle and a first down on 3rd and shorts. The drive will continue for Wagner.
Number 3.
Big first down as you continue to move the chains and you get to work your way down the field exactly how Wagner wants to. The only thing is if Wagner can stop itself, because so far Pieper hasn't been able to put a huge stop to Wagner when Wagner doesn't stop itself. That's me including the interception as Wagner stopping itself.
Fresh set of downs. Joyner Price up the middle. Another good first down run for Wagner. Program coming off a losing campaign from a year ago, their first in 4 years.
This time was number 45, Charles Walter.
And try to get out to a good district start tonight, but down 34-6. And we talked about it. Every game magnified in 13 5A play. And you figure some of the locks will be Smithson Valley, New Braunfels, Pieper. And that means that you're going to have a lot of teams fighting for that 4th and final playoff spot. Every game valuable and counts. And if you're Wagner down 28 in the opener, tough way to start district play.
5 different teams fighting over one playoff spot. And sure, that's later down the season, but makes sense that we would talk about it now, knowing that this is a marquee matchup for Wagner. Absolutely matters for Pieper, but these would be the type of teams that Wagner would end up playing. And so now you're taking inventory and you're taking stock. Not only is your team's playing, but you get to look at it afterwards and say, hey, we played an elite team. How did we do against that team?
First down for Hughes. Sophomore quarterback loses the ball. Picked up by the Warriors. Going back the other way. Hopper down the sidelines, and he's in for the touchdown. Not Hopper, it's Jack Trevino. We've had a pick 6 and now a scoop 6 for Pieper.
A meltdown of unheard of proportions. Ripped away by Raha Lopez. Picked up by the man himself, Jack Trevino. And nobody was there to stop. That's 2 takeaways for that Pieper defense. 2 turnovers. 1 forced fumble turned into a touchdown, and then 1 interception, also a touchdown. Defense is elite, meltdown for the Thunderbirds, and Logan Lopez is going to do what he does.
Pieper's offense has not gained a yard in this quarter, yet the Warriors have added 14 points to their total here in the second half. On top of Wagner, 41-6. The defense putting up some points to the third as they lead Wagner by 35, the 13 5A opener.
Shipwreck on the mountain, rubbernecking all the outlaws. It's who we wanna be. Belly up and just fake it, and 2-step overrated, so we can hope to be someone someday.
And welcome back to Pieper High School. Warriors 41, Thunderbirds 6. Third quarter started with Wagner down 27-0, but got an opening drive for a touchdown, got a stop on defense, got the ball back. But in the last 2 possessions, Wagner has coughed it up, directly leading to points for the Warriors. A pick 6 for Brady Gianelli. And then moments ago, a scoop 6 for Jack Trevino. Both an interception and a fumble taken back for touchdowns for the Warriors defense. And now the ball taken out. A mistake there by Jamie and O'Brien. Could have just eaten the ball in the end zone for a touchback, and now Wagner will start behind his own 10-yard line.
We mentioned this a little bit in the first half, but there have been some odd mistakes from the Wagner players. You can see right there on special teams, could have just taken a knee in the end zone and it would have been fine. You could have gotten the ball in the 25, but instead doesn't quite know what to do, gets flustered, runs out, and now you got to start your drive inside the 20, and then in the first half, when you didn't want to stop the clock and gave Pieper a chance to score a touchdown, ran out of bounds. So there's been a couple of different times from this Wagner team that it's not necessarily undisciplined, but just a little bit of a lack of awareness of what's exactly going on.
This game has to be such a confidence builder for Pieper's defense. They've allowed the 1 touchdown. They've forced 2 turnovers. Pieper got a turnover in the season opening win at Bernie. None since then. And in the last couple of games, really struggling to get stops. So they've got the turnovers tonight. They've gotten the stops. With it, 35-point lead with 3 minutes to go in the third.
And it doesn't matter who you're playing. When you can light your defense up and you can give them a game where they can feel confident, that starts to build upon itself, especially when you play hard teams in this district.
Also so important for Pieper to play well and build momentum going into a gauntlet of a game next week. They'll travel to Ranger Stadium to take on Smithson Valley. Rangers were up big on Bernie Champion at last check. So it could be a matchup between 2 district unbeatens, 1-0. Pieper putting its district unbeaten streak on the line next week at Ranger Stadium, and Smithson Valley, of course, boasting its state championship from a year ago. 3rd and shorts, and that's going nowhere. A loss back to the 16, making the 14-yard line.
Absolutely huge. Reese Henry, first time we've called out his name tonight, blows right through his block to then blow up the Wagner play. Way to fight through the block by a defender that isn't a starter, but that's a heads-up play by a guy on your defense that you love to see.
And this game has gotten away from Wagner quickly in the third quarter. After 3 and out, Thunderbirds to punt the ball away. It's a good punt. Rice, the fair catch. Short of midfield. And for just the second time in the third quarter, we will see Pieper's offense. The Warriors have run 3 offensive plays in the quarter, haven't gained a yard, yet the lead has gone from 21 to 35.
Pieper will have the ball at the 47-yard line.
Smithson Valley's taking care of business.
As expected.
31-7.
All over the Chargers. Would think New Braunfels would be taking care of MacArthur tonight. It's again at Victoria East. 4 teams will be 1-0, other 4 0-1. And Lions back to pass, going deep down the middle, and he's got Lacombe. What a catch! Breaking a tackle inside the 10, all the way down to the 6.
You got to admire Lions' commitment at least. He tried to hit Lacombe twice. Once in double coverage, once he overthrew him, but this time he said, hey, don't worry, I got you. And he absolutely did. Put it where only Lacombe could get it, and I don't know how he fought through, 1, that tackle, but 2, how the defender from Wagner held on to him. That was also crazy.
46-yard catch for Carson Lacombe, and out of the end zone. Lacombe for the second time. What a night. And the onslaught continues for the Warriors.
Beautiful throw from Lions. Put it exactly where Lacombe needed and where he knew that he would be. One-on-one coverage. It was soft coverage. Lacombe knew he could beat him, and he absolutely did. And the Warriors might get 50.
It is the second 2-play drive of the night for the Warriors. 2 plays, 52 yards, all to Carson Lacombe. Point after is good. Pieper rolling tonight in a 13-5A opener. Warriors 48, Wagner 6 here on the Warriors Network. Welcome back to Pieper High School. Warriors coming off a 2-play drive. Chase Lyons, 46-yard completion to Carson Lacombe. Next play, a 6-yard pass to Lacombe for his second touchdown of the game. Six catches, 110 yards, a couple of touchdowns tonight for Carson Lacombe. The big target of the passing game for the Warriors this year has been Andrew Grindstaff, who's had over 100 yards receiving in all 3 games this year. He's been relatively quiet, albeit had a big 48-yard catch early in the game, but Lions' favorite target tonight has been Lacombe. A couple of touchdowns for Lacombe, a couple for the defense. A lot more offense sprinkled around all of that as well for the Warriors, a team that averaged more than 50 points a game a year ago, on the doorstep of 50 here tonight.
I don't know if Lyons and Lacombe made a deal on the sideline or maybe talked pregame, and he was like, hey, actually, I'd like the ball more. I don't know if that happened. Just the way that Lyons continued to try to feed him is potentially comical.
First down run, good one for the Thunderbirds. That's Jordan Price for first down. Last check, by the way, New Braunfels on top big against MacArthur, 28-7 at Cumberlander Stadium. Unicorns on their way to a 4-0 season start and 1-0 start to district play. They make it actually 35-7. New Braunfels going into the fourth quarter.
Why not? Just tack it on.
See Prentice back at the quarterback for Wagner on this series. First down run, small pickup, and that could be the final play of the third quarter for Wagner.
With a yard gain.
Looks like it will be as they trot off the field.
A promising start of the third for Wagner, but it was all Pieper. A couple of touchdowns for the defense, a big hookup from Lyons to Lacombe. And the Warriors on top by 42 going into the fourth here on the Warriors Network. Frank Freeman alongside Noah Torr and our entire Warriors Network crew. Glad to have you with us on this Friday night, the first of 13 5A play. Pieper all over Wagner, 48-6. Outscored the Thunderbirds 21-6 in the third quarter. And Wagner with the football to start the fourth quarter. See there Jordan Prentice, the junior quarterback. Back under center for Wagner. We'll pitch it to Sims. And stemmed out towards the sidelines after a short gain. That'll bring up third down for Wagner. Last check on Seguin. A one-touchdown lead over Victoria East, 21-14 the third quarter of that game. And really the only competitive game in the district tonight.
And for this game, I don't know if he didn't make his way out of bounds or we've got a running clock, but it looks like we might have a running clock for quarter number 4.
And Prentice fumbles a snap. Fight for the football. Pieper says they've got it, and the Warriors do. Third turnover of the game for Pieper, and the Warriors take over Wagner territory.
A turnover turkey. You love to see it if you're the Warriors defense. A pick six. This is actually the first time that we've had a turnover not turn into a touchdown, which I don't know if they just set the bar too high, and if you can be disappointed about that. But you got a scoop six, which I love, by the way. You got a pick six, and then, just an ordinary fumble that you get, and then you give the ball back to your offense.
I wonder how much longer the Warrior starters are going to stay in the game. Some backup sprinkled in now for Pieper, although Chase Lyons still in a quarterback here for the Warriors. Don't think Isaiah Gaitan is available tonight. Tyler Lacombe could take snaps at quarterback. Here's going to hand it off. And the play stopped at the 40-yard line.
Number 12, Smith.
And on the run there for the Warriors is Josh Smith, first carry of the night.
Big time for Josh Smith. Haven't called his name tonight. Don't know if his name has been called so far this season.
I don't think you'll see Grindstaff or Lacombe or Hopper or Lancaster for the remainder of the game. It's Smith again, spun down to the 38, brings up 3rd and long.
And this is Lions' normal crew that he runs with. We've talked a little bit about Gaitan and how he was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, was out last week. This week he's also out. It was a game time decision at the beginning of the game. Clearly was chosen to not play. But this is Lions' normal crew that he runs with as the second team.
We've seen a lot of hurry up from Pieper tonight, but now taking the time, bleeding some clock with his comfortable 42-point lead. And the 48 points tonight for the Warriors, a season high. Second straight game, though, they put up 40-plus. Smith stop ball short of the first down.
Carry up the middle. This time, first for the defense.
Do you go for it just for fun?
Might be a situation where your defense is playing so well, a turnover on downs doesn't necessarily hurt you. Too far for a field goal, maybe too close to punt. Xavier Pieper keep the offense out there.
We've seen them do this a few times where they're in a situation where they're either on not quite the 45, but they're just inside the 40. You've got a decent bit to go to the first down marker, and they elect to go for it. Lower stakes here than when they did it previously, but this isn't uncharacteristic for them.
And Lyons keeps it himself, and he sacks. Maybe lost the ball. Either way, Wagner takes over on the hit from Jeremiah Cruz. Turnover on downs. They give the Thunderbirds the ball back with 9:19 left.
Massive sack for Cruz. A little bit of, I don't know if it was miscommunication, but they just blew right past the offensive line of Pieper. They being Wagner, and Cruz got his hit on Lions that he was hoping for.
Well, second halves have been so tough on Wagner this year. Goes back to the lack of depth the Thunderbirds have this season. Coming into the game tonight, outscored in the second half, 79-14. Tonight it's been 21-6 since halftime in favor of Pieper. Prentice stays in a quarterback for the Thunderbirds. And tackle is made just short of midfield.
On carry was number 9, Lara.
Xavier Lara on the carry there for Wagner.
Not the first time we've called his name tonight, but first time he's getting a big chunk of action. And it looks like we've got backups going in on both sides as the score. I don't know if it's going to increase a ton more, but might be close to what we have for our final score tonight.
Pitch to Sims and drops after a short gain. Third down coming up for Wagner. Thunderbirds on their way to the third straight loss after opening up the season with a win over New Braunfels Long Creek. Last tackle made by Jordan Crow. A lot of backups in on defense now for Pieper. See Michael Mathis, Miles Austin, and Tyler Wells all up on the defensive line. This third down carry is good enough for first down for Wagner.
With the carry that time was number 30, Scott. Looks to be
Wagner has MacArthur next week, a little bit more of a favorable matchup coming off of a tough game against the Warriors. Obviously, this game isn't over yet, but we don't anticipate the score changing a ton up on either side. So you can imagine next week, they haven't totally flopped on this game yet, but that matchup against MacArthur will be a little bit more favorable.
First down run, Luera to the 43. So the score lopsided tonight. Wagner's win-loss record about to drop to 1-3, but it wasn't that long ago that Wagner was one of the top 5A programs in the States. There was a 2-year stretch, 2018-2019. Wagner did not lose a single district game, went 16-0 in district play. All 16 wins by double figures. Back to pass, Prentice down the field, and Wagner is yet to complete a pass tonight. In fact, Wagner won those district games by an average of 53 points a game. They were dominant, won a total of 26 games in those 2 seasons, and made it all the way to the state semifinals in each of those years.
That's slot T at its finest.
All that under Charles Bruce. His first season, Wagner was 0-10, and then of all that success in the years that followed. Then left to take over at Brandeis, one of the top 6A programs in the greater San Antonio area. That pass is caught. First completion of the night for Wagner's quarterbacks. Good to Jamie O'Brien for a first down.
Same play that they just ran where the pass was incomplete. Instead of overthrowing him, he kind of underthrew the route, and there was some space in between the cornerbacks, and the pass was completed. That's a huge first completion for Wagner.
Pieper, a relatively new high school. Again, this is the 4th varsity season. Wagner opened up in the early 2000s as Prentice back to throw towards the end zone. Leaping attempt, incomplete for O'Brien. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Wagner, of course, shares its stadium with one of the great programs ever in the greater San Antonio area, Judson. And they've had a lot of good athletes come from the school over the last 20-plus years. Wagner gets ready for 2nd down and 10. Luera stacked up, no gain. Jordan Clarkson, great basketball player for Wagner.
Really?
Later named 6th man of the year in the NBA.
Run up the middle.
We all learned something new today.
Yep, played his high school basketball at Wagner. Pair of players have reached the NFL. Derek Kindred and Spencer Buford, who was a 4th-round pick 4 years ago. Played his high school ball for the Thunderbirds, and a lot of great women's basketball players that come from Wagner, to include Kiana Williams, won a national title with Stanford and later made it to the WNBA. So again, this has been a program, a school that's turned out a lot of athletes over the years. 4th down coming up for Wagner as we at the halfway point of the 4th quarter.
I lied, the clock's not running.
Usually a running clock has to be an agreement by the coaches. Sometimes before the game, if that pass falls incomplete, turnover on downs, put the Pieper offense back on the field on top 48-6.
Turnover on downs, Warrior football.
I'll say this. The PA guy has kept his energy up all night.
Yes,
it
he
doesn't
has.
matter
Yep.
what the score is, but he is electric. I want him at most of these games.
It's a great game environment here at Warriors Coliseum. There's the seating that they have behind the uprights, almost like a college bowl-like environment in that regard. Beautiful campus here in San Antonio.
The campus itself gives very nice community college atmosphere. Like, it just, you walk on and it's like, there's no way that I'm at a high school right now, and yet you are. This is one of Comal ISD's prized jewels when they built this high school. That was the hope, is that they could build this high school and show it off and say, hey, this is what Comal ISD wants to be, and this is who we want to represent. And they're doing exactly that. Great high school, beautiful campus, the way they designed the stadium, just everything was done excellently.
Logan Long at a quarterback now for Pieper. Last handoff went to Esteban Gomez. As again, the Warriors have cycled in some of the backups here. With the game out of reach. Long going to flip it to Gomez. And he won't reach the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down for the Warriors with 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. And there is a Wagner player down back at the 20-yard line.
Maybe a 1-yard gain.
And it's Javion Rector down for Wagner. And you think about the Thunderbirds season moving forward, a team that wants to fight for a playoff spot, and they need players like Rector on that defense.
Not what you want to see, especially towards the end of a football game, that you know is out of reach that you just want to get out of cleanly, and yet one of your studs on defense goes to the ground, and just a bummer for the Wagner team.
And there, look at the stadium that we talked about earlier, that bowl-like seating behind one of the end zones here. And look at the campus as well.
And you can't see it now. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but the view of the hill country is pristine. It's got to be one of the top views of the hill country.
And Rector now being helped off to the sidelines here for Wagner. This will snap the Warriors' 2-game losing streak. A team that hasn't lost many regular season games, kind of uncharted waters for the Warriors this year. But running into some good teams, Johnson and Davenport the last 2 weeks. About to get a win back into the column with a big game on deck next week at Ranger Stadium.
It's also tough when you go against some 6'8" dogs. You got to compete against those guys. This is a nice change of pace for the Pieper Warriors team.
After the injury stoppage, 3rd down and 9 for Long. The first quarterback to spell Chase Lyons tonight. Fourth on the depth chart for the Warriors. But Gaitan not available to take snaps, and Tyler Lacombe is the backup, but a starting player at several other positions. Starts at linebacker, also takes some carries in the backfield as well. Want to keep him healthy. Downfield shot, and that is caught. Nice catch from Long, and the pass is reeled in for a first down by Richie Elizarde.
I was caught off guard at the very beginning when I learned, oh, he's a lefty. Okay, all right, let's lock back in. And so, that caught me off guard, but great route, a little bit underthrown, ball brought in nonetheless. And if you're Pieper right now, I think you just try to get first downs, you churn out the clock, and you just let this thing try to hit 0 as you have the ball.
Probably the only reason why you saw Long throw the football there was the down and distance situation. And the Warriors able to convert. Run up the middle. First down and then some. Inside of midfield goes Gomez. That'll chew up some more clock for the Warriors offense.
I'll also say don't discount the Warriors still going and scoring another touchdown, because 1, you have competitors on the field, but 2, the culture isn't like, okay, you're a backup, just take it easy on them. No. If you're on the football field, guarantee they are still trying to score a touchdown, obviously within the parameters that the coaches give them. But if he had a clear breakaway for a touchdown, he's not sliding, he's not actively looking to get taken down, he's running straight for the end zone.
And the next snap will come inside of 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Gomez gobbled up. Going to lose several yards here to bring up 2nd down and 15. The 3rd quarter began with Pieper on top, 27-0. Wagner got an opening drive that led to points, and then the defense got a 3-and-out stop. Wagner had the ball, had the momentum, had a couple of plays into Pieper territory, but a hold negated a long run for the quarterback Hughes. 2 plays later, threw a pick 6, and the game has not been competitive since. Pieper's defense scoring twice in the 3rd quarter. Offense added a scoring drive of its own to expand the lead even further. Gomez will lose more yardage here. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout.
And now underneath. I think the 2 big key stats from this game, and they're 2 bigger ones, so you got to combine some things, but the fact that there were 3 touchdowns scored within 2 plays by Pieper, and that there was a scoop 6 and a pick 6, that's 14 points by your defense. That is too much to overcome.
2-minute timeout here at Warriors Coliseum. Pieper on its way to a 1-0 start in 13-5A play. Ready for the final 2 minutes here at Warriors Coliseum. Pieper on top 48-6. Been in command pretty much from the start. Scored the opening drive of the game on a beautiful touchdown play on 3rd and 30+. Chase Lyons to Carson Lacombe at a 38-yard touchdown pass, setting the tone for the rest of the night. Here's Gomez hurdling to the 40-yard line. Picks up a chunk, but not enough for the first down. Fourth down coming up for Pieper, under 2 minutes to go.
I will say the band is at least trying to keep it interesting. We just heard them say they were going to do a mannequin challenge, which is pretty great. That's pretty great. You got a whole game going on in the field, and then you just hear off to the side, hey, we're going to do a mannequin challenge. So they're at least keeping it interesting.
Staying engaged. As one should be on a Friday night here in Texas. High school football, not just the game of the field, but everything around it, the environment from the band, the cheerleaders, the dance teams, the parent support. Another great atmosphere here at Warriors Coliseum. Pass over the middle, off the hands of the intended target.
Pass falls incomplete.
And that's going to fall incomplete.
Turnover on downs for
Pass
the
going for Charles Walters, and Wagner will take over on downs with a minute 6 left.
Got to think this will probably be the last drive of the game.
And for the Warriors, another district win. This will mark their 15th straight. Have not lost a district game since their first varsity year back in 2022. Hughes back at a quarterback here for Wagner. A few more snaps for the sophomore quarterback, just looking to get some more game experience. This is his first varsity season. And Hughes able to complete that out across the 40-yard line, down the sidelines, and going out of bounds.
Pass from Hughes.
Pass complete for a first down for Wagner.
Love to see a second completed pass for Wagner.
That's good enough for a Thunderbird. First down.
They could make their way all the way down to the end zone.
Could be a momentum-building drive, perhaps, for Wagner. Feel good for them before heading into the film room tomorrow to evaluate this game. Hughes back to pass again, going deep, got a man inside the 30, inside the 20, down inside the 10, all the way to the end zone for the touchdown.
To number 80, Antonio Green.
Antonio Green on the hookup of 49 yards from Devontae Hughes, and Wagner on the board in the fourth quarter.
Massive. That's your third completed pass of the night, and it goes for a touchdown. Antonio Green untouched on his flag route. A beautiful pass. Great route. And you know what? Why not? You know, not what you want to see of your head coach, Nick Rogers, but great for Wagner.
Point after, good, but penalties on the kick. Wagner players heading off the field. And this is against Pieper. Declined by Wagner. Point after good, make it 48-13. Under a minute to go in the fourth quarter. Back to wrap things up from Pieper High School after this on the Warriors Network.
Score now, Thunderbirds 13, and your Warriors 48.
We'll actually keep things with you right here. Brent Freeman, Noah Tour to wrap things up. 47.9 seconds to go. Warriors Coliseum. Wagner getting a quick touchdown drive late in the game. Perhaps some confidence for Javante Hughes on his first touchdown pass of the year to Antonio Green.
I lied when I said it might be the last drive. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Well, to Wagner's credit, they didn't just kneel out the ball or try a couple of run plays. They put the ball into the hands of Hughes, a couple of completions. And of course, the second one, the 49-yard strike to Green. Wagner was not ready to call it a night yet.
You want me to have a little vulnerability moment with you, Brandon?
Sure.
I would have called it a night.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's I think it's because I'm not a competitor. I think that's what you and I both just learned in this moment, which is a bummer for me because I want to be a competitor.
You're only guaranteed 10 Fridays every year for these high school players, and many of them seniors. This could be it for them and their playing careers. And you know, you get 48 minutes each one of those 10 Friday nights. And for a lot of these players and coaches, you want to maximize the time that you have.
That's true. I've also never seen multiple players call a fair catch that don't receive the ball. That was wild. There were at least 4 other Pieper players that all called for a fair catch. I don't even know if the guy who caught the ball was calling for a fair catch, but everybody else did.
And we'll see what the Warriors elect to do on what we think could be the final possession for either team tonight. And it does look to be the victory formation here for the Warriors.
Gaitan is in at quarterback.
Takes a snap and takes a kneel down. Isaiah Gaitan, yeah, the senior, the start of the opener at Bernie, helped lead the win over the Greyhounds on a thriller on opening nights. And the play clock turned off. The Warriors don't have to run another play, but maybe give Gaitan another snap. His first game action since week 1.
That will be the final
but
play.
nope. Instead, the Warriors will, in fact, call it a night. And Pieper extends his district winning streak to 15 straight as they open 13-5A play this year with a commanding 48-13 win over Wagner.
Massive win for Pieper. And it's a momentum builder. Exactly what we've talked about, especially going in to the former state champs next week in Smithson Valley. This is exactly the win you needed. One, to build confidence in your backup quarterback. You always hope that your starter can come back and play, but it builds confidence not only in your backup quarterback, you got a lightning rod of electricity in your defense.
Well,
huge night.
A big night tonight for quarterback Chase Lyons, his favorite target, Carson Lacombe. A couple of touchdown catches, and the Warrior defense scoring twice tonight. Both defensive scores coming in the third quarter as Pieper takes care of Wagner tonight. That's going to wrap up our coverage of tonight's 13-5A district opener, with the final score is Pieper 48, Wagner 13. On behalf of our entire Warriors Network crew and my partner Noah Torr, I'm Brain Freeman saying good night from Warriors Coliseum.
I know it's place to be. Yeah, I know I got the bag. Everybody wanna be like me. Yeah, I know I got swag. I know it's place to be. Yeah, I know I got the bag. Everybody wanna be like me.